How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. Well, let's get this over with, shall we? The Rangers have finally lost a game, their first loss since their loss in Toronto back when they lost 2-1. They've won their last 7 games in a row, but all good things must come to an end, and the Rangers dropped this one to the Avalanche 7-3. So this is a season high for the Rangers in goals given up in a single game. They've given up 6 goals in 2 previous games to Edmonton and Calgary, but this is the first time this year they've given up 7. So why don't we hop right into it? Adam Huska makes his NHL debut. They decide to go with Huska tonight instead of doing Georgiev back-to-back. Who knows if that would have made any difference? Probably not, but Adam Huska gets a little baptism by fire, and his first NHL game is a loss where he lets up 7 goals. Probably doesn't feel that well, but I'm sure he's still happy to have played in the NHL. Kreider, Zibanejad, Kakko, Panarin, Strome, Hunt, Lafreniere, Hedel, Gauthier, Rooney, Goudreau, Reeves, Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, Nemeth, Lundqvist, and Huska in net. So let's hop into this first period. 3 minutes in, a Zibanejad bank pass to Spring Kreider into the offensive zone. Nothing would happen, though. And then at 4:11, Rantanen would score his first goal of the game. Wrist shot from the high slot. Huska got a piece of it with his blocker, but it did end up going into the net. Huska made a great pad save right after that, so getting himself right back into the game. 6:56, Trouba would score a goal. He now has 5 goals in his last 8 games. He is becoming the offensive defenseman that the Rangers hoped he would be when they got him from Winnipeg. Because when he was in Winnipeg, he was a very effective offensive defenseman, and it took him a little bit of time to get back into that with the Rangers, but I think we're finally seeing that come to fruition now. It was a shot from the blue line, just snuck right in. 7:27, Taves takes a tripping penalty. Colorado, odd man, shorthanded chance. That was luckily fought off. And then another bad pass to a Colorado player, and then a third bad pass, and I'm pretty sure all 3 bad passes were by Panarin, so he did not have a great start to the game. Colorado pushes right after that power play. Rangers just way too many turnovers, very sloppy play throughout pretty much the entire game, and I can't really blame them. They landed in New York at 2:30 this morning, and they didn't have a skate today, or a practice. They just kind of showed up and played this game. Probably exhausted with their 3rd-string goalie in the net against a team that scores a lot of goals. A lot of goals. So, am I mad that the Rangers lost? No. I think if you expected the Rangers to win tonight, I don't know what to tell you. This was a scheduled loss for them. Even if Shesterkin was in net tonight, tonight, there was probably a good chance the Rangers were going to lose. Probably not this dramatically, but this is just a game that you can't really be mad at for the Rangers losing. They haven't lost in a while. It's not like they're dramatically dropping down the standings. They're still in a very good spot, and they have tomorrow off to recuperate to play Buffalo on Friday, a team that is not nearly as good as Colorado. So nothing to be mad about. Just, it's disappointing to see your team lose, but we'll get over it. Short-term memory. 11:03, Strome takes a tripping penalty. Rooney has a shorthanded chance, which leads to an offensive zone faceoff for the Rangers, shorthanded. 2-on-0 chance for the Rangers during that penalty kill, but Kemper made a huge save. 3rd line had a great shift, cycling. Shots were all blocked, though. Colorado doing a good job getting in the way of those shots. 4th line comes on right after and gets right back into the zone. So 3rd line, 4th line, putting some offensive pressure together for the Rangers. 17:11, McDonald takes a holding penalty. Hard pass to the corner to spring Zibanejad, just like Kreider was sprung earlier, and he draws a penalty. So that was the McDonald holding penalty. 18:15, Lundqvist scores his first NHL goal. I've been waiting for this kid to score his first NHL goal, and he does it on the power play to put the Rangers up 2-1. So that's got to feel good. He celebrated a little too hard, and he ended up falling to the ice, but that's okay. It's nice to see. So congratulations to Lundqvist. By the end of the period, it's pretty much what we expected energy-wise. I did not expect the Rangers to be leading at any point in this game, so that was nice to see. There was a glimmer of hope. After that first period, I'm thinking, maybe they pull it off. Maybe by some divine intervention, the Rangers can pull this off, because they're up 2-1 after a period, and Huska looked pretty good. Obviously, the rest of the game happened, and the Rangers definitely did not win this game at all. But after the first period, they gave us a glimmer of hope. It was nice. They were outshot 19-9 in that first period. A little rough, but they came out ahead. Second period, great early save by Huska. Rangers don't enter the offensive zone until 2.5 minutes into the period. It was all Colorado for the first 2.5 minutes. But there's a great chance when they do get in there, and a little bit of chaos in the crease. Colorado keeps pushing. Rangers not making it difficult at all for the Colorado forecheck. They're basically just surrendering the blue line every single time and then figuring it out on the fly once they're in their defensive zone. But then the Rangers start to pick it up and get shots, and as soon as I'm writing that, at 4:48, McKinnon scores a goal. He brings it to the slot. He loses control of it for a second, but he ends up very cleverly poking it through underneath Huska and into the net. So early in the second period, Colorado ties it. Play slows down afterwards, a bunch of icings, a bunch of stoppages. And then at 6:11, Kadri would score a nice deflection goal from a blue line shot. So Colorado's up 3-2. Again, not too worried. Rangers have come back from being down 1 goal many times. Eric Johnson hit a post shortly after that. And then at 9 minutes, Reeves takes a tripping penalty. Goudreau and Rooney have a 2-on-1. Those two on the penalty kill, they're going to work some magic this season. I think those two are going to combine for a couple more shorthanded goals before the season is over. But at 10:42, Newhook would score a power play goal to put Colorado up 4-2. Rangers storm in right after that for a chance, but it wouldn't go in. 11:13, for the second game in a row, Trouba puts a huge hit on a player and just knocks them right down to the ice. But tonight, Trouba would pay for it immediately. Landeskog would come up to him and they would immediately fight, but Landeskog also gets an instigator penalty, so the Rangers end up on the power play. McKinnon would go to the locker room, but he would return for the third period. Power play, the second power play unit does better than the first on this power play. The first power play unit pretty much throughout the game struggled. Power play 2, they also struggled, but I feel like they did a little bit better. But nothing would happen. 14:32, Lindgren takes a high sticking penalty. For some reason, I thought it was kind of a weak call, but it is what it is. It was that kind of game. Colorado missing the net a lot, luckily, on that power play for them. Rangers get to kill it off, but shortly after that power play ends, O'Connor would score his first goal of the night at 17:14. Again, Rangers really are just giving everybody space and just figuring it out. They're tired. I get it. So I can't really be blaming them too much. They're probably exhausted. Colorado's a very electric offense. It is what it is. But 20 seconds later, O'Connor would score again. So 2 goals for O'Connor in 22 seconds. Horrible line change for the Rangers. And it just allows O'Connor to march right in all by himself. Nobody's even close to him. And he puts it behind Huska for his second goal of the night. So that is a 5-goal second period for the Colorado Avalanche. And now they are up 6-2 after trailing 2-1 after the first period. It was probably the worst period of the season for the Rangers. But we get to the third period. McKinnon comes back. At 3:13, Hedl takes a tripping penalty. And then at 5:03, Nemeth takes a tripping penalty. So there's 11 seconds of 5-on-3 for Colorado. But Hedl gets a breakaway chance right out of the box. And if he scored on that breakaway, maybe we see a little bit more energy in that third period. Maybe this game is closer to maybe Colorado wins 6-4 or even 6-5. But Hedl did miss on that breakaway chance. 11 minutes in, Hunt makes a very strong move to the net. He has been playing really well. 9-11, Trouba takes a roughing penalty. McDermott takes a roughing penalty and gets a game misconduct, and Gerard takes a goalie interference penalty. So, what happened here? Gerard comes to the net with the puck, and he ends up bowling over Huska. He tries his best to stop, but he hits Huska. He falls on top of Huska. Trouba doesn't like that, so he skates over, and he rips Gerard off of Huska and starts roughing him on the ground. McDermott doesn't like that, so he rushes over and pushes Trouba off. He's been gunning for Trouba all game. So penalties are doled out, and the Rangers end up with a power play, which is nice. Power play 1 had some good pressure in zone time, but nothing would happen. But then at 11:52, Hedl would score his first goal in just over a month. I think the last time he scored was November 6th, if I'm remembering that correctly. It might not be the 6th, but early November was the last time that Hedl has scored. It's only his 3rd goal of the season, I think. So he's kind of been cold on the score sheet. His line plays pretty well every single game. Hedl's just been a little bit snake-bitten, but he does get a goal. It was a good forecheck by Lafreniere, gives him the pass in the slot. Hedl buries it. Kemper goes off to fix, I think, a broken skate lace. So the backup goalie, Johnson, however you pronounce it, comes in for about, 2 minutes while Kemper fixes his skate. 13:25, Rantanen would score his 2nd goal of the game. It was a deflection, and then Kemper comes back into the game. 14:33, McKinnon takes a roughing penalty, and at this point, I can't speak to what Gallant was thinking, but the first power play unit is the 4th line. He just puts the 4th line out there. He says, I don't know what he says, but 4th line goes out there, just have fun, figure it out. He probably doesn't want the first power play unit getting any more frustrated than they probably are. And then the second power play unit is the 3rd line. And they actually did pretty well out there because that 3rd line is very good at generating offense, just not quite at finishing. Flurry of shots continue after the power play, but we get to the end of the game, and sure enough, the Avalanche ice it 7-3, ending the Rangers' win streak and home win streak. So both of those streaks now officially broken. The Rangers move to 17-5-3, which is still a very good record. So nothing to worry about. Rangers are back in action Friday against Buffalo, a team that they should beat, and that win should propel them back into some sort of energy and confidence. I'm pretty sure the message after the game tonight from Gallant is going to be short-term memory. You got 2 out of a possible 4 points in a back-to-back. That's pretty much par for the course in terms of what happens in the league. Very rarely do you see teams win both games in a back-to-back, especially against a team as good as the Avalanche. So, disappointing, but nothing to worry about. For some reason, the NHL site is crashing right now, so I wasn't able to put the stats up for the end of the game, but I'm sure they favored Colorado, especially in the face-off category. The trivia question of the evening: Kreider has 10 power play goals in the first 24 games of the season. Who are the other 2 Rangers players to score 10 or more power play goals in the first 24 games of the season? I got one right. I did not get the other one. Those 2 players are Jaromir Jagr and Marcel Dion. So there you go. Disappointing, but short-term memory, we'll get over it, and we'll see if the Rangers can put a win together on Friday against Buffalo. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.